All right, Mr. Dave Mowat, the floor is yours. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Jared. Yes, sir. Three pretty dashing guys in those early pictures. Wild hairdos. What was that about?
Well, we still have hair. I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. So maybe, there's lots of your fellow business people in town here today, but there's also 100 kids that, I guess the young adults who are probably thinking about starting their own business. Maybe we start with you, Gord. Do you have any advice for them?
To start a business is an interesting process, and I was there at the beginning of All Weather Windows, and I think when we started, we had such tremendous faith in ourselves that we did not think that we were going, failure was not in our DNA. We didn't think about it. We worked day and night, and literally day and night, but it was fun. I can't tell you how much fun we had when we started, and it was a passionate time. We were passionate about what we were doing. We believed in what we were doing, and we were excited about being a company that was going to revolutionize the window business. And so believe in what you're doing and have a passion for what you're doing. And I know that's a real cliche, but truly that was what drove us. And if I had any other advice to give you, if you can, be well capitalized. Because if you're not well capitalized, that's a real challenge. And we were blessed enough always to have been well capitalized. So there's a great banker sitting to my right, your left, and so you could speak with him.
There we go. How about you, Jeff?
Well, I think the first thing is that you have to have fun doing what you're doing, and you have to do it every day. And when you're young, I think you have an opportunity to try some different things, and I certainly recommend you try as many. But when you find the thing that you're passionate about, focus on that and continue to do it every day. And I think also as a leader, it's important that you build a solid team around you. You can't do everything yourself. And I believe that it's really important that you try to have the very best people around you at all times.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's very good. Andy?
Well, when I think of starting a business, I think of opportunity meeting preparation. And, for young people, every day is an opportunity to learn. Every day is an opportunity to show your peers and your superiors what you're all about. And you never know when the opportunity is going to come for you to start your own business. And as these two gentlemen have shared, starting a business with all the challenges and hard work is one of the most exciting things any person can ever experience. And as Jeff said, surround yourself with great people. My success is all about surrounding myself with great partner, great staff, great management, and you surround yourself with good people, you're going to have great luck.
Really, that's great. It's interesting, these three people run very technical businesses, and they all talked about the people, not the fancy machines or trucks or buildings that you built. Interesting. So maybe open the kimono a little bit. What's your scariest moment in business? When were you just panicked, Jeff?
Well, which time? Well, let's go to 1982, 83. It was really tough. That was the National Energy Program was introduced, and there were so many. There were just so many businesses that just were failing, and we were repossessing vehicles, and we're trying to keep our business going. And I remember we were really concerned. We were still doing okay, but it was really a tough grind. And I can remember my parents were concerned about me, and they called and said, we're prepared. They're from Saskatchewan. They were prepared to sell the farm and donate or give me any money that I needed to keep the business going. And And I thanked them, and I said, that makes all the difference in the world. But I said, you just don't have enough farms. And also, we had a fellow who has worked with me now for 34 years. I remember clearly in 1982, he says, there's a recession going on, but we choose not to participate. And I thought that was the right way of looking at it.
That's it. That's it. Good stuff. There's slowly but surely starting to be enough farms in Saskatchewan for the prices that are going on. Andy, how about you?
Well, I think 1982, there's probably not a business guy of our vintage in here that doesn't have a story about 1982. Bill and I just started our shop here in Edmonton in 1980, so we didn't have very deep roots into the community. Neither of us had gone to high school or university here, and so we had to come up with a plan. Fortunately, I'd started the business in Yellowknife, and we had a reputation there, and so survival for us, for myself, was moving back to Yellowknife and taking advantage of the opportunities there while things settled themselves out here.
Right. So, Gord, did you have a moment when you were kind of hanging by your fingertips there?
Well, in the 80s, we were still relatively small, so we didn't need a lot to eat those days. So we managed to get through that okay. But if I had a story to tell, I think in 2001, and it's still an infamous year in the history of all weather, we implemented an ERP system, and we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. But the all-weather way is to bulldoze ahead and do it fearlessly. But so we went live January 1st of 2001, or 2, I think it was 1, and we shut the old one off. So we never ran a parallel test, never did anything. So we went live January 1st, and we issued our first invoice that year, March 24th. So I had a few heart-pounding moments there in the month of March.
There you go. Good man. I got an SAP system I can sell you.
I'll trade you even up for an Oracle.
Oh, dear. The one thing the three of you all have had is partners along the way. And, you hear lots of stories about partners and whether you should or whether you shouldn't. And maybe start with you, Andy. Have you got any advice to people on bringing partners in? Is it good? Is it bad? How do you do it? Some advice.
Well,
he's looking around to find them all.
it's a learning process. For myself, not everybody that came into my world as a partner turned out to be a long-term fit. Sometimes that's difficult because you get close personally with people, but ultimately you got to do what's right for the business. And I wouldn't be sitting here today representing Clark Builders if it wasn't for partner Bill and other great partners that we've brought in along the way. So it's worked great for me.
How about you, Jeff?
Well, there are all kinds of partners, and I'll first say that the best partner that I've ever had is my best friend and my wife, Jackie. She's been the best partner that I could ever have. On the business front, you've heard Jerry Levasseur earlier talking about our experience together, and I think partnerships work very well, providing everybody is clear on what the expectations are and what both parties want from the partnership. And I think the partnership is a good ship as long as everybody understands what the rules are.
Right. Well, that's great. When you said best friend and best partner, I thought he was coming with the bank. I was on the edge of my seat.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, right. How about you, Gord?
Well, in my life, I have been so blessed with great partners, and first of all, with my wife. has just been a tremendous support. But I have, over the years, probably had 7 or 8 or 9 partners, and all of them, to a man and now a woman, because some of my children are my partners now. So I have 2 women as a partnership. But the vision has always been that we've been together. We've supported one another. We've loved one another through good times and bad. And for me, to grow an organization, sometimes, it can be a lonely job. And I think if you have good partners that are supporting you and you're pulling together in the same direction, it's a real rewarding experience. And I truly never have had a bad partner, so I can't comment to that. It's just I've been a very blessed man.
That's great. That's great. We hear a lot about values and mission statements and vision statements. And, Jeff, when you think of your business, do you have a set of values, or do you have something that comes to mind that you've always stuck by?
Well, the philosophy of doing business from our point of view has always been to exceed our customers' expectations, and that's really what we focus on doing all the time. But we have 4 core values that we build our whole culture on, and that starts with commitment. First of all, do you want to be here, and are you committed to providing a valuable service to our customers? That's the most important part. Integrity, working with each other and working with our customers so that we're dealing in an open format at all times is most important. And of course, respect. You have to respect your employees, you have to respect your customers, and I think that's really one of the things that's most important, but the passion, and you have to really like what you're doing. To me, every day is a holiday. Some are just better than others, and that's sort of how we've built our culture over the years. So that's really sums it all up, but the glue that ties it all together is that everyone has a united effort in making sure that we're providing a valuable service to our customers.
All right. Well, it sure worked that driving force. Gord, is there some values that you've kind of stuck with throughout at All Weather Windows?
Well, I think values, for me personally, I think my value system drives from my faith belief in Jesus Christ. And so I come from a lot of that has really given me clear focus in my life in terms of my value system, in terms of how I think, and in terms of how we run our organization. We want to serve our customers. We want to serve our people. Our people are our internal customers. And I think, when you want to serve an external customer, I think it starts with your internal customer, which is your people. And if you really, really value your people and not just pay them lip service, they feel that. And when they feel it, then they transmit that to your customer base. And we've been very, very fortunate through the years, as these gentlemen have said. You can't build an organization without people. And, we've been very blessed through our life and through our business life to have had great people.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And Andy at Clark Builders, any values that are at the core?
Respect, trust, and communication. But the trust is a product of respect and communication. I came from the same faith school as Gord did, and learned how important it is to, treat your brother, treat your customers the same way you'd want to be treated. And that's often easier said than done, because in life there's some people you kind of like and connect with easier than others. And so it takes work, but if you can build that into your culture and respect your people, hold that high as a value, communication comes from that, and then ultimately trust comes. And when you have trust in an organization, you can do anything.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And now I've been out of the province for a couple of days and stuff, and I understand there's an election tomorrow here in Alberta, and I'm just wondering if you wanted to guess how many, no. That's already happened, hasn't it? You know, anytime you're involved with junior achievement, you're always kind of marvel at the quality of the kids. And I think sometimes we underestimate the generation that's coming up behind us. And maybe just to close this off, we got three really impressive people who have been through an awful lot in their business career. And maybe start with you, Gord. You know, just have any words to the youth of today?
Well, I think, you know, when you have the opportunity, as I did today, to sit with these young people at a luncheon, and when you really get to interact with them and you see what they're doing here, you know, with their trade show and how passionate they are, I guess my comment would be, I think we underestimate the youth of today. Oftentimes we think, well, you know, they're not like, you know, they don't have a work ethic, they don't have this, they don't have that. And I would say that that's probably very misguided, you know, and I think our future is in great hands. I think we, you know, the opportunity to mentor them, to help them along the path, to give them a helping hand, that's our job. We need to do that. There's no question about that. But the passion and the drive and the energy that they show is just absolutely heartwarming. So congratulations to all of you 100 out there.
Thank you. So Andy, any words to the young generation coming up? Must be kind of scary for them.
I was talking with some of the young people today about the differences between when I was 18, 19 and what it is today, and some of us of our vintage come through School of Hard Knocks. Things weren't as cushy maybe as they are in some ways today, and so I think as Gord said, we sometimes I think worry a little too much about today's generation who've been brought up in homes and lifestyles that are a little softer than some of ours were. But certainly as I met the young people today and I heard them speak, and particularly the two speakers that spoke earlier, when I think about my ability to speak at that age, anyway, it was just...
You had great hair.
I come from the age when kids were supposed to be seen and not heard. And no, I think our future's in great hands from what I can see. And I think it's our job at our age to invest time in them and encourage them and teach them some of the lessons that we've learned, so maybe they don't have to make some of the mistakes we've made.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Jeff, you get the last word.
That's a change. Well, I think we all have needs and wants. And what I was when I first moved to Edmonton in 1974, I joined a Toastmasters group shortly after, and was fortunate to meet Larry Anderson. And Larry Anderson actually gave me a book, which I still have. He signed it, and it said, it was a book called Think Big. And I really have to tell you to the kids today that I was so impressed to see these kids with their businesses that they didn't have any trouble thinking big. And then when I heard the two speakers talk about the dreams and aspirations that they have and how much junior achievement has helped, I keep thinking how fortunate we are to be able to have an organization like Junior Achievement that helps foster those dreams. You don't have to justify what you want. You want what you want, and that's all that really matters. And so to all those kids, just keep wanting and keep setting those goals higher.
Great, thank you very much. So I just want to congratulate Junior Achievement on not only all they do with the youth, but giving us an opportunity with this evening to meet and kind of profile three great business people in the community. You know, I think we get a little obsessed with politics sometimes, but never forget it's people like these three people that have built this province and will continue to build it. So thank you very much and congratulations.